seen one guy acknowledge those 2 bracelets. Not one. You know who does? Women.
Hey, good evening and welcome back to Anthony's Check-In. I'm just here checking out Coach's commentary on his trip in Brazil. All right, so without any further ado, if you want to give me a call me at that number 1-844-990-1998. If you have any experience traveling with to other countries and your experience with ladies in those countries, just hit me up. All right, let's get back to Coach.
Women. Young women. They know what those 2 bracelets are. They be watching. And I had this one white woman. She was like in her early 30s. She fucking looked at them bracelets and she said, oh, wow. It doesn't matter the race either. I don't know if many black women have said anything. Doesn't matter the race. They see that tiger eye right there. They fucking stop their tracks. They're like, tiger eye. That's a good one. And I'm like, a good what? Oh, that's a good crystal. Yeah, tiger eye. All right. And they'll tell you the whole goddamn thing. This one white woman says, she said, do you charge your crystals? Do I charge my tiger eye? Nigga, I was like, what? All right. Looking at her ass. Like, I looked at her ass and said,
wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
I said, charge? Do I charge them? They're not electric. What? And she said, oh, yeah, you need to charge them. And this woman was a blonde white woman, suburban, big titties. Like, I was like, bruh. But almost every woman have acknowledged and stopped the bracelets. Oh, opal. That's a good one. They know it, man. These witches be out here, man. These witches be out here, man. They'd be like, oh, you know, the four, what do you call it? I can't even. The 4 symbols of the 3 to 12 signs. There's fire, ice, water. These bitches is witches out here. They out here.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
They out here practicing. You know why it's important? Why is that important? Because we men tend to not practice this. Tarot card readings, palm reading, astrology, these type of things. But the women are practicing it, and subconsciously or consciously, they're practicing it against you in your ignorance. You don't realize that they're using that energy against you. And not to take away from you, not to do evil per se, but they do. You know, I had this young lingling that said, she said, I sit by the phone, and she said she puts energy out there to get me to text her. I was like, these motherfuckers.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
Yeah. And I'll say, has it worked? She said, yep. Because what'll happen is I won't talk to her for a couple days. And then she says, I put out there in the energy. I don't know what she said, how she described it. But she says, I put out there in this, whatever it is, in this atmosphere for you to text me when I feel like you haven't texted me in a couple days. And she says she puts it out there and she just waits by the phone. And then I was like, the fuck?
Wait a minute. Who are you?
And I said, has it worked? She said, yes. So this is where we're trying to tell men that they spend a lot of their time doing this. Why? Because that's where the rewards are. But we spend 0 hours on this thing. We don't understand it. We may think it. We don't believe it. Right? We don't believe no shit like that. Who do it? This bitches is crazy, right? They witches. That's essentially what we're gonna say, right? I know a guy that practices magic. All right, and so several guys that practice magic, which people might say is an energy in the form of craft and all of this stuff. But they practice it. They think about it. They put energy out there, and then by virtue of that, she's hoping this guides you, and she's reading the signs. Therefore, this is a transaction. And you don't realize it's happening. All you're doing is trying to buy time and get pussy, right? You're trying to buy time. You're just like, all right, let me hang out just enough, right? Just long enough so I can get it. And that will bring me satisfaction. Even the act of sex is a spiritual exchange, right? Semen demon. So when they're having sex with you, I kid you not, man, I'm going way off topic here. But I had another young lady. She was she was half Filipino, half American. So she looked like motherfucking the woman on the Wonder Years, right? An adult version. And she said that when she has orgasms, she starts chanting. And I was like, what?
Wait a minute. Who are you?
All right. She said that. Super chat link is at the top, pinned to the top of the live chat. And so, yeah, she looked like Winnie Cooper, all right, in the face, ass bitch. Winnie Cooper. So anyway, she says, yeah, when she has orgasms, she chants in her. She was trying to tell me, don't get scared. Don't get scared. But she says she goes to another place. She was a spiritual chick. She says her eyes roll back to her head and she starts chanting. Now, what do men normally do? You know what we normally do when we hear that? We be like, I'm going to see this shit. That's all we're thinking. That's all we're thinking. I'm going to see that. Cool. I don't care. Chant away, baby. All right. Do you squirt? What are you going to do? But what you don't realize that is a form of the energy that they're putting into you. So sure enough.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
Sure enough, I was like, I got to make this witch bust a nut. I got to make her bust a nut. Because I want to see this shit. And she was right. Yeah. She was like, I'm uncontrollable. I'm not myself. And she started going up in there. And yeah. Right. And it was like Papa Shango music came on and shit. She started rolling eyes in the back of her head, squirting all over the room and shit, vomit. Her head spent in a circle. And she started chanting like she was talking in tongues at church. I was like, good Lord, have mercy. Yeah, bitch. I said, I had to let this shit happen, man. Her hair started to stand up. And so there's the energy right there. So money, energy, attention, and time. And yes, it got old. I was like, I got to get rid of this girl. All right. And she probably still trying to put the Papa Shango on me. All right. We got this young woman that's a financial dominant. I actually talked about FinDom before. And this woman is saying how she plays men for their money. Well, I take that back. She doesn't play men for their money, but she practices FinDom. This is another thing that men are not aware of. This is why I'm always trying to bring awareness to you on this platform. Okay. FinDom is a genre of BDSM with a hint of sugar baby. Okay. And what these people do, and yes, there are men that like to be dominated financially. Some people call them husbands. So husbands are kind of FinDom. They just don't know it. Right? Everything they say, they're saying they're being financially dominated. Even divorce is a financial domination. But there's a lot of young women. This is why it's going to be hard for you to marry in your 20s, is that young women would rather, not all young women know about this, by the way. All of these things I'm telling you about, young women know it. But the men don't know it. So you're coming in and you don't have a clue. She might introduce it to you, or she might see how much of a square you are. That's why I always tell you women got way more game than men, because women know about all these things and they don't deny it. And they know somebody doing it and they just keep it quiet. They don't tell the men, hey, watch out for these bitches. All right. But you guys come in ignorant and green and wet behind the ears and you have no clue. So this is FinDom. All right. This is BDSM meets sugar baby. And this woman is in her 20s. She'd rather do this than to be your wife. All right. So let's go ahead and pop this up here. Lots of young women know about this, and some women are practicing it, or they wish to practice it. They also call it pay pig. Pay pig.
A couple of days ago, I made $2.6 thousand while sitting in bed, just telling a man to send me more, send again, send again, send again, send again. Here's my proof. So literally minutes, I just said send, 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 because that's his KNK. And then we had to move to my throne wish list because my card declined, and that's literally my picture right up there. And I'm telling you this because I have made over $700K now in about 3.5 years doing something called FinDom, being a professional spoiled brat, where you can literally create socials and fan sites.
This is men out there, okay? You guys got to get a checkup from the neck up. like, you can't be just sending women money for no darn reason, just for them, just because they tell you to, and you think that they like you or whatever. It's like, give your head a shake. This and women, I say this a few times that women are definitely evil people. They're evil people. You know, they talk about men hate women. No, men don't hate women, because if the men did hate women, they wouldn't like jump over all kinds of obstacles to be able to get your attention. Like this 3 or 4 here stayed in a room and just got off on it, and then she probably had another guy in the room with her, and they're going like, yeah, watch this. Okay, he sends me $500. I'll get him to send me another $300. I'll get him to send me another $500. And they think it's a joke. It's not a joke. You're literally ruining somebody's financial bank account. You're draining it, and you're getting kicks off of it. It's like, how the hell could you do that? Only evil people is going to do that. This is totally disgusting, this practice. And guys, don't do that. Don't do it. It's trial and error, okay? You know, like when you're not getting any attention from women, you know, like you feel, oh, like you're jonesing for it. Okay, get off the fucking estrogen drug. Okay, it's an addiction. Get off of it. Get into the gym. Find new hobbies, and do something with your life. Don't worry about getting attention from women. Okay, they're always gonna be there. And I'm telling you, the great news: there's always a new one on the block. Okay. And the great news as a man, okay, the older you get, you could always go and build your muscle, okay, you know, get your mind right, get your money, keep that money, don't be fucking giving it to them, and get your get your muscle in line and everything like that, and eventually they'll show up. It's like that old movie that says, build it and they would come. And this thing here, yeah. So build it and they would come. Terrible people, terrible.
It's branded as like, I'm a total spoiled brat, la la la. Under an alias, it's 18 plus, can still be considered a form of spicy work, but I've literally made money from the spicy industry in the least spicy way by finding certain men whose financial desires to have their bank account drained. That's the whole thing. It's not about showing anything. Like, the whole thing that excites them is you draining their bank account. And I teach women how to do this, and I've now made women a total of $1 million in 10 months total who've joined my community. And if you want a new hot girl side hustle, bitch, go to my page. A couple of days.
Okay, so gentlemen, again, all right, again, we got Macs and pimps and ninjas and PUAs and run games and tricks, and we got a lot of male competition out here. But what I don't see is men warning men of this, explaining what it is, and not shaming the man or the woman. See, I'm not going to shame her, and I'm not going to shame the men participating in it. I can't do nothing about it. I can't save nobody in this situation, man. That's not my job. My job is not to save you, not to judge, and it's not. Guys, that's what I'm not here going to do that. I used to do that, and it was a waste of time because the world fucking progressed, right? And I was like, dude, and if you're finding me in the last 2 years, sorry, I'm not holding the fucking line. I let that shit go a long time ago, right? Who remembers this? When I said, man, let it burn, fuck it. All right. I'm not stopping it. I'm not going to try to change society. I'm not waiting for the pendulum to swing back. I'm not waiting for Trump to get into office. I'm not waiting for woke culture to die. I'm not waiting for the red pill to become mainstream. I said, fuck it. Yep, send the asteroid. That's where send it came from. Just send it, motherfucker. I can't. And I can't be the voice for men when men are trying to to me, men are the ignorant people in the dating marketplace. It's the men. Right? Why? What do men worry about? We worry about what men are doing. We dick police men. We worry about what men do. We worry about what strategy men are doing simply because you can't control the women. So instead, you try to control the men. And so what you do is you worry about what men are doing, right? Then we see what the women are doing, and we think that, well, how many women are actually doing that? I'll just avoid those type of women. Here's what I'm going to tell you. This is what I'm going to tell you. You can't avoid it. Guys, it's in too deep. It's like trying to get women to not practice astrology. The funny thing is these women know about it. Like if you ask the regular bitch, she knows about this. I knew a girl that did that in high school, right? I know a girl that did that in college. I was roommates with a girl that the women are staying on code. They know somebody. Yeah, I knew a girl that she was a sugar baby. I knew a girl selling pussy and she went to school and was stripping. They all know and they accept it. They don't socialize with them. Sometimes they do socialize with them. Sometimes, guys, sometimes that girl is in their friend group. But for men, you think, what do we need to do to stop this? What did I tell you? You guys are about 10, 15, 20 years behind. The shit's out of control. Now, who are the people she's dominating? Normally going to be white men. I actually looked this up. White men are highly likely to participate in this, and it's older white men, right? So white men that are wealthy, 50s, 60s, 70s, they have reach to resources. They have unlimited resources. These men are also more likely to be married than single, right? So they're doing it, and they have a whole wife. And these men are probably high value men. High value men, meaning they're high level earners. They're in suburbs. They got country club memberships and shit like this. They got money to burn. And also, who's also most likely to do this on the woman's side? Young women, 20, 30, into their 40s. Right? And so this is a kink. You know, that what they'll do is they'll also want to be physically dominated to a point. Now, again, I'm not here to reserve any judgment, nor am I here to save it. I'm an elder in this space. Dude, y'all cooked. You're cooked because you're too busy trying to control where men doing shit, and it's too late, right? It's too late, guys. And they can do this from their phone. They just got to get to the right community of men. And sometimes they have to even possibly get into some sex work. She even acknowledged, oh, it's kind of sex work. Oh, it is. Because they're also not telling you. Sometimes these men have the kinks where in order to get this started, they actually have to get into sex work first, right? They have to get into some sort of sugar baby first, right? He got to put hands. Sometimes these men want to be slapped and peed on and walked on high heels on their back. They have to cross that line first. And then once they do, it's on. Then she can milk the guy. And he feels like, don't milk my credit card again. You made me max out my credit card. Yep, they want to get dookied on. So women are finding these avenues, and they're finding less social stigma related to it at this point in our world. Maybe the world changes in 30, 40 years or 20 years. You can hope for that. But of course, these are also women that you would not even recognize them in public. See, that is the other problem you have. He says simps. See, that ain't gonna help you. Right?
Yeah, I got time, cuz.
It's not gonna help you. I know we had the 12 simps of Christmas. It's not gonna help you. All right. These men got more money than you actually probably make in a motherfucking year. They make in a week. Do they care about them simping? No, they have their kink. All right. They have it. Right. That shit ain't gonna help you calling them simps. And you ain't even in the neighborhood they're in. So it's not gonna help calling names again. What remember when I said this? You want to control the men. You think that's how you're gonna do it. I'm gonna control the men. I'm gonna shame the men. It ain't gonna, guys, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, coach, you're absolutely right. These men are addicted. Their brains have been their brains are fried into that sense. They've gone down that rabbit hole, and it's a sickness. They're sick people. So the woman is sick, and the man is sick. It's sad, but hey, uh, can't help them. It's sad for both parties, and it is what it is.
They don't give a fuck about what you. By the way, they don't even know you calling them a simp. Right? They don't even know. Am I giving you the God's honest truth right now? I'm trying to help men because you guys still got content creators still trying to think that this is going to stop people. Look at Travis Hunter. Is it stopping him? The whole world calling him a simp, and he double, triple, quadruple down. He don't give a fuck. He could care less. Okay. But what you have to understand is first, before you can control the women, you got to understand what they're doing. Like you got to know what they're doing. You got to at least know. And press a 1 in the chat if God's honest truth. You never heard of Indom. Press it 1 in the chat if you never heard of it. Guys, there's women hold on for a second, just so you can see here. There's women that are doing it, and there's women that are teaching women how to do it, and there's women that want to know how to do it. You niggas don't even know what you're dealing with, and you trying to fight the monster. Right? You don't even know what you're dealing with. There's layers and levels to this shit. All right, here we go right here. This is a guy. He says, bring back the 90s. Here we go right there. See, this is what men are ill-equipped for this battle. You're not right here. I just want to live in a normal world again. Take me back to, it looks like take me back to the 90s. This is why men, this is how goofy you sound. You're cooked.
Gotcha, bitch.
You guys are cooked. You're trying to go back. That's your solution. Go back to the 90s. It's not going to happen. I don't have all my sound effects. People are lost. Maybe AI needs to destroy us so we can start over. See, people don't have no solutions. They don't know what to do. Why? Because they've been feigning.
Yeah, here's what's going to happen. Here's my prediction of what's going to take care of these 3 or 4s is that with robotics and AI, very, very soon, shortly, there's going to be Android acro robots where they're going to be as simulation very, very close to the female, and you could you'll be able to buy them at whatever fetish that you may have, whatever nationality, skin color, and everything. And the acro robotics, one of the features of them is that they are movements are generated by hydraulics with water, a liquid inside of them, and it's through a pump, and the pump could be like a heart. So with that, they'll be able to regulate the temperature and that. Then put AI into that, where that they'll be able to have information and do whatever you want. That is where women are gonna hit. They're gonna hit the wall with that, and they're gonna be yawning to be able to have a real like they're gonna be yawning for men. Maybe not. I don't know. But men, basically, men are very simple. They just want someone to follow their lead, give them some peace, and make them a sandwich. And these robots are going to be able to do that. Acro robots are going to be able to do that for them. So with that now, again, women are not going to be able to, guys are not going to be able to be simping out to these women. They'll be able to go to these devices, and then what are these women going to do? They only skill that they have is their sexuality. And once that sexuality is taken away, from them when it's replaced, then hey, they are screwed. Literally, they won't know what to do with themselves. You may say that yes, if they could always get like a man robot, but a man robot isn't gonna be the same for them because women and men are not the same. We don't see interaction with each other the same way. So yes, a woman could get like a male robot, but they're not gonna. It's not gonna be. They're not gonna like it, and the reason is one is that biologically they'll have to lead, and women don't like to be leading. They rather be they rather be followed. They rather have someone tell them, lead them. So it's coming soon to a website near you.
Ignorance for so long that they're not on that side of the world. This guy says, I've fallen victim of this to my wife. Right there. And look at how many people liked it. I said this earlier. Most people that are in Findom are married. Their wife is doing Findom to them. So this isn't just about sex work and shit like this. A lot of guys that are like this are married. And their wife is the Findom. Oh, honey, they got to ask the wife. Sometimes they bring in way more than the wife. They got to ask the wife, can I buy a new barbecue grill? That's Findom. That's Findom. Well, I got to ask my wife before I make a big purchase. I want to buy a new mountain bike. I got to ask the wife. This is Findom. Right? But people don't want to acknowledge this because they don't want to understand. No, that's different, coach. Okay. You're trying to fight a monster by saying everything's different instead of just putting everything right out here on the table and going money, energy, attention, and time. All right. Prostitution comes in all forms. Marriage. All right. And street hookers and everything in between. Nobody wants to acknowledge that. And now y'all trying to fight the beast. It's too late. You got to acknowledge this. All right. In order to, if you want to see change, this woman right here, there's another woman. Her name is Kayla. Kayla. What does Kayla say? Yes, it's called financial domination. A submissive who finds pleasure giving money to their dominant to spend. Normally, submissives don't want anything in return, just to know the dominant is spending their money. There's a woman here, and I'm going to pull up her profile just so you can see who it is that's trying to put y'all up on game. And it's going to be, as I said, you can't recognize them in public. Now, for me, since I'm on the dark side, I can recognize it. I'm on the dark side, so I know what's going on. All right. And I've seen these same women walk out to the world and be normal like a motherfucker. They'll be normal. Right. And you'll be like, oh, that's a normal girl. And you'll walk up and you'll cold approach her and you'll say she's ugly and she a 4. And I'm like, that woman out there on the dark side. So, of course, this is a woman who is a singer, actress, and a model, AKA to me, it's a prostitute. Okay. And there she is, Ling Ling.
Yeah, I just noticed here I'm just monitoring my feed on the on YouTube here, the replay, and it sounds really choppy. I'm just trying to adjust my my filters on my audio to be able to get myself a clean sound. All right, so hey, apologize for that, but this is work in the process. I'm in my studio setting things up and trying to get things set up right. All right, let me just see how this sounds.
So there's Ling Ling trying to put you up on game. And what is Ling Ling? She looks like, I'm going to say, she looks like she's in her 20s. Guess what? She knows more than you goofy motherfuckers. That's the point. That's the point. She knows more than the men. She knows more about the dark side than you do or will ever acknowledge. I just want you to acknowledge that the dark side is fucking mainstream. These women know. The girls know. You know who don't know? You. You guys refuse to even accept it. Well, something gonna stop it. They're gonna stop it.
And that's you.
Something gonna happen. The red pill gonna go mainstream. Andrew Tate gonna stop it. Nope. Look at that. And dude, it's always these young, innocent linglings. Shout out to the linglings. I don't have my music today. It's always them. It's always them. And man, because most of people don't really try to argue against me. Am I making sense? Or do you not want to hear me? Am I making sense, or do you not want to hear me? You just want to, you try to justify trick am I making sense? I always put my argument together. I'm literally trying to help you. I do help myself in this. Am I crystal clear about what's going on out here? It's too late to shame. It's too late to stop it. It's too late to change the laws. Nobody's arresting people for prostitute. It's not going to happen anymore. None of that shit, calling people simps and calling women hookers and calling things prostitution is going to help anymore. Why? It's too ingrained in our society, and it's been ingrained a long time ago. We overlooked it. Oh, she got flued out. Oh, it's normal now. They got an app, fly you out. This should literally make sense to you, unless you just are here to argue, in which your argument provides no solutions. You're not stopping it. This is happening, and it's happening into our world, and the people who know it are the people that you think you're taking out for a fucking date. He says you'll get arrested for buying a hoe. Where?
And that's you.
On the street. All right, on the street corner. But if that was the case, why are they still out there? And certainly in Los Angeles, you won't. And neither will you in New York, unless you go to a massage parlor. I mean, that's the only thing people getting busted up on. All right, it's right here. People are they just want to be, he says right here, keep telling the truth, they mad. They sniped you because it was all caps. But I'm making them mad because they are hoping I'm wrong. And I'm not wrong. I'm telling you what's going on here, and this is for your own benefit and mine. But it's too late. Ain't enough YouTube videos that it's gonna stop it. All right.
Yeah, that's right, man. I think it's gone to critical mass. That's where it at. These I said, like, any women that was born in the 2000, now she's around 25. She grew up with the internet. Technology was at her fingertips ever since she was like 5 years old. Then COVID came along. So in COVID, she was around 20, and when COVID hit, that really that just really twisted them, because now they had all the time in the world to harness their skills in their house. So, and that's what they did. And now they're back out there on the streets now, and now they're totally like their brains, their lexicon is altered forever. It's not coming back. They're not coming back. So hey, it is what it is. That's what we're dealing with today. Still working on my sound, and going to listen to this playback. All right, coach. Preach.
So don't think there's a solution around this. All right, I think I'm going to stop that part of the show, do the super chats. And I think, by the way, I call that segment, It's an Evil World We Live In. And was that enough?
It's an evil world we live in.
Yeah, man. I mean, it ain't. All right, anyway. Oh, man. It's wild out here. It's wild. And somebody said my 15-year-old's telling me wild shit. Ooh. Now, that's another bridge I don't want to cross. I do have to be careful talking about minors. Because, no matter what I say, there's going to be two ninjas that try to think I'm justifying being with a minor, because sometimes you have to talk about it. But you have to realize I work with young people all my life. There are some innocent young people, but most of them aren't. You guys remember when you were 15 and 16, the things you heard from your friends? Did you tell your parents? Did you tell your parents? Did you tell your grandma? Damn, grandma, when you were 16, ladies, you too. Did you tell them, hey, Ma, guess what I learned on the playground? Guess what I learned at lunch break? Guess what I learned in PE class? They don't tell you. And trust me, I have kids this age, 17, 18, going on 18 and 19, both of them. They don't come and tell you. So if you're a parent and your kid has access to social media, they know about this. Some of them are doing it, and that's the very hard conversation for me to add here on YouTube. But some of these girls are already dancing and wiggling on social media. They're already doing it. They're doing orgies and they're not all. You don't know who's doing it. I'm not saying all, but trust me, they got access to. Like when we were in high school, all y'all game to just talk about all the pussy you got when you were 14. Who was giving it to you? Girls that were 14 and 15. So what that means in effect, imagine the world today where these kids have phone and TikTok and Snapchat and DMs on Instagram. Yep, they got Finstas. So they got the account you know about, and they got 5 other Instagram accounts. All right, wiggling on the internet, wiggling. Oh, and I told you about the young girls that were 12 selling feet pictures, and their mothers found out about it. So this is already happening, and that's another thing that men have to. I know you want to shame me for talking about it. I get it. I'm the messenger. I'm the speaker of truth. I just try to bring it to you. Another reason why you're not going to stop it is because young women as young as 12 already doing it. Woo! They already doing it.
I'm red,
All right. Now, we don't know what numbers of young girls are doing it or exposed to it or being asked to send these pictures, considering it, know about. We don't know. I don't know. But they have young women that have been already set this example.
Check one.
He says, isn't this PDF though? Again, when will you guys wake up calling it a name? This is what really frustrates me about this space. And I've been in this space for a very long time. I've mastered it. But I really try to help men. Calling it a name is not going to help you. Trying to classify it under a law is not going to help you at this particular point. These niggas is something else, bruh. Bruh, I don't care what you call it, nigga. I'm not the police. They slow. People are as fucking slow. Calling people simps and PDF files and calling it prostitution, you think it's going to stop it? It's not. I thought that was against the law. It probably is. All right, but what you want me to do, motherfucker? I ain't the goddamn Homeland Security. They just want me to, I need to go on. We need to stop it. We need to report. My hands. I'm tired, boss. I'm tired of these lame ass ninjas, these hard-headed, God bless these goofy ass men in the manosphere. God bless the goofy men of the manosphere. These motherfucking manosphere ninjas be absolutely incredible. Go start some. What you going to do about it? All right, anyway. Moral police ass ninjas. But coach, that's prostitution. What you want me to do about it? All right. Call it then. Okay, yes. It's not going to stop it. Well, financial domination is actually sex work. Okay, congratulations. Do you feel better? You feel better for calling it? That's adultery, coach. Well, it's adultery. Now that it's adultery, now that we've discovered that people that cheat are adulterers, adulteresses, whatever you call it. Now what? All right, anyway. Unreal. All right, anyway. Let's get to these super chats, man. It's unreal where this space is gone, man. Y'all think that's going to stop it, calling names and naming, classifying shit? Trust me, man. These women don't give a fuck. We'll just talk about from the women. Okay, well, nobody. Men and women could care less of what you call it. That has to go into 2025. Content creators, if you're listening to me, which I know you are, y'all can still feed these guys. And I blame the content creators, right? I blame the content creators because they're still feeding you what I call red pill rage bait. Right? They feeding you red pill rage bait. The simps, if we stop the simps and we could just stop the simps, can't stop the simps. And we need to stop OnlyFans. If we could just stop, it's been 10 years, nigga. It's been almost 10 years. We need to stop Instagram. It's been 20 years. It ain't stopping. You're just going to hope somebody, I don't know. But I'm not going to be up here. I saw Kevin Samuels die on y'all behalf, and y'all niggas didn't even go to his funeral. You think I'm going to die for y'all ninjas' sins? Right here. I ain't about to die for y'all ninjas. I'm about to be out here having a hard, but hey, I'm gonna enlighten you the entire way. I'm gonna enlighten you. I'm gonna tell you, because when I'm on the dark side, I tell you a little bit about what I see. And I tell you a lot more on CoachRickAdams.locals.com. I tell you a lot. Tell you a lot, man. I ain't gonna tell you everything, all right, because you know I'm gonna do stuff. I ain't gonna show you pictures and tell you names. But I've seen, you know how many, I shouldn't say this on the internet, but you got to go over the locals, man. These are the women that are doing this. I know, where's the young woman at? I got to get to the main event here, but I'm looking at my screen. The young women that are participating in this is literally, I know you guys think that they're like got a hooker stamp on them, or they got eyelashes, or they got like a hooker's uniform on. They're running around with lingerie from Fredericks of Hollywood or Victoria's Secretions. You thinking, you know, you're going to be able to tell. You think you're going to be able to tell. You think you're going to be able to point and go, that's the one. Those are the good girls. Those are the bad girls. I'm here to tell you. This is why we call them your future wives. I'm here to tell you. It's not that easy. It's not that easy. It's students, girls that live with their parents.
No.
Their sister, they live with they got roommates. I've seen it all. I've seen it all. The spectrum is real. They got jobs, regular jobs. This is their side hustle. They got careers, doctors, lawyers. It don't fucking matter. It's that you're gonna see them, and this is why I think it's funny when y'all cold approach. That's why I think it's really funny when you cold approach, because I'm like, y'all niggas don't have no clue. Because the cold approach artists, they're like, I think what's wrong with them is they're halfway retarded. Anybody practicing cold approach right now had to be halfway retarded. Anybody promoting cold approach have to be halfway retarded. Why? Why do I say that? Not because I'm against it. It's because they're literally not acknowledging the dark side at all. Like they're literally going,
check 1, 2, 3.
Oh man, we ain't worried about all them tricks and them hoes. We just gonna run game on the girl. And I'm like, but the girls you're running game on and approaching, those girls on the spectrum. Like those girls are on the spectrum. And I know a lot of guys are saying, like, you know, Fresh and Fit, what they'll do is they'll bring girls on, and they'll be like, they only bring in.
Yes, still working on my sound here.
In this type of girl. They don't bring in the other type of girls that like a smart 40-year-old feminist, right? Who would want to see that?